What's up? Welcome back. As you can see, the car's moved. We've changed locations. We're now back on this side of the garage. Better lighting. And we're getting ready to put the head on. So, clean the engine bay. Got it all spick and span, best I could. So that way when we got this fresh motor in here it looks mint. But yeah, we're putting the head on. So, first things first. Clean the surface of our block, clean the surface of our head because they put like an oil on there to stop it from rusting or corroding or whatever, because they don't know how long it's going to be before you put the head on, or you know, if you get anything machined. So they always do that, which is cool. So we'll degrease that, brake cleaner it, whatever, get it all ready, put our RTV on. Big thing with these is RTV, so where the block and the oil pump meet the head, they leak. I don't know if you guys noticed that down the side of your engine. It's all misty and icky. You can see where I've tried to clean it but haven't quite done a very good job right there. But a little trick that I've learned is you just put a small thin layer of RTV right around here and along these lines where the oil pump meets the block. And when you put your head gasket on and your head on, that seals it and it stops it from leaking, and then your front cover and all that stays clean. It's way better. So I'm going to do that now, degrease it, clean it all up, a little bit of thing, put my head gasket on, my Tomei power. This is the spec for anyone that's wondering if it'll focus. 1.2mm gasket, 87mm bore, genuine Tomei gasket. And then we'll put the head on, and we've got some Mazworks studs. And I'll explain why I use Mazworks ones. These are built by ARP, but I'll explain why I'm using these in a second. So I'll just clean this up now. Get this nice. Don't want any shit to stop our head gasket from sealing. Get this nice and clean. Just like that. It's a nice gasket. So we got our head situated on the block, the new gasket. Got our chain held tight over there. Not a huge deal, but people get butt hurt if you don't do it, so I'm doing it. And then we have our Mazworks studs, and we're going to read the instructions because instructions are good. It says this kit does not fit the GDIR. Clean all parts with brake clean before use. Install factory dowel pins on block, install head gasket, install cylinder head on block. We've already done this. Place washers into the cylinder head. Apply ARP lube on fine threads of stud. Apply ARP lube on bottom of nuts. partially thread nuts on stud, apply a small amount of motor oil on the bottom of the threads, install the studs through the head into the block until it bottoms out, hand tight only. Once all studs are seated into the head, torque the nuts in the factory sequence into the following specs: 45 foot-pounds and 55 foot-pounds. Some of you are probably wondering why these are Mazworks, but they're built by ARP. So if you don't know, a lot of people run ARP head studs into SR20 depth block, but they're too short and they rip out or pull out because it's only an alloy block. So Mazworks with ARP created these studs and they're longer and they bottom out in the block before you start twisting into the head. And yeah, Mazworks has the right to them, so ARP aren't allowed to fix their normal studs, and they're not allowed to sell them as an ARP stud, so they get sold as a Mazworks stud even though they are ARP. So use these if you ever rebuild your engine, so you don't have problems of stripping the block, because that'll be a nightmare. So I'll clean all these up, put the oil in, lube them all up, and we'll put them into the head over there. So I got my stud, just putting a little bit of motor oil on the threads. Then I take my nut, get my ARP lube, it's on the bottom there, and then some on the threads. Let me put him on here, like so. So I've seated all my head studs now with the nuts on them, just like ARP said. We put the oil on the bottom, we put a little bit of assembly lube on the top thread, and we put a little bit of assembly lube on the nut itself. We threaded them into the block till they bottomed out and they were hand tight, so you can see down there the whole way along, they're all bottomed out. Now we've gone back to our Mazworks piece of paper over here. Here he is, and he says our first torque setting is, you can see that, 45 foot-pound. So I've got my torque wrench over here. On this side it's got foot-pounds. Focus. I've got them set at 45. So I'm going to go through and torque them in the factory order, which, if you don't know, Mr. Tomei, because he's a nice, sent us the instructions. And right there is your bolt pattern. So basically you're tightening down the head evenly by kind of going in a circle like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to do one pass of 45 and then bump it up, and I think the second one is 65 foot-pounds, so we'll set our torque wrench again to 65 foot-pound and do another pass, and that's it. We're good to go for the head studs. So we just did our first pass at 45 foot-pound, so we're going to take it over here, unlock this, and twist this thing. It's hard to do with one hand. Anyway, you get the point. I'm going to twist this around till I get to right here, 66.4. It says 65, but 66.4 is not going to hurt it, so we'll twist it up to that, lock them up, and then we'll do one more pass. So that's all done now. We've done our 45, we've done our 65 pass, and that's it. Pretty easy. Didn't spin as much. I've used ARP head studs before, standard ones in my S15 motor, and they spun heaps and it was fucking scary talking them down. These ones, however, didn't, so I'd recommend you spend the extra 50, 60 bucks or whatever it is and get the Mazworks ones. Now we've done that, these two long bolts here that we took out go through the head at the front into our oil pump, so chuck these back in, and then there's just two more, one down in here and one at the back, and that's it. That's our head all torqued down, tightened down, whatever you want to call it, and we're ready to start assembling our timing. Get a 10, tighten them up. The snap-on ratchet's getting a bit tired of me using it like it's a breaker bar, I think. Ooh. Look, there's those two. So we've got our 3 bolt tools situated, so this one in the back. Where are you? Where did you go, Mr. Bolt? Anyway, in there, down there, and there, they're all tight. Now before we put our valve train system back in, so like our lifters, our shims, our rockers, all that, I'm going to bleed my lifters because they were out, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that real quick. Basically, you get something, you stick them in the end of the lifter breather hole, and you just bump them up and down until all the air bubbles are gone, not coming out, and then he's bled. I'm going to need 2 hands to do this, so I'm going to have to put you guys down, but I'll bleed these all up and then I'll chuck them in over there. They are all bled up. I've made an absolute mess of my bench, but it's all good. So most of the air bubbles will be gone. Obviously there's going to be a few now, but at least we know they're all full of clean oil, and most of the air bubbles are gone, so we can put them back in their little home, and you get mate in there. go. There you go. Slippery little buggers. Last two. And here we go. Just like that. All done. So now we've got the lifters back in, we're onto the fun bit of putting the shims in. I just watched my own video to remember which way around they went because I didn't take a photo like I told you guys to, but you guys were smart so you took a photo. And my order is horseshoe, flat, horseshoe, flat, horseshoe, flat, horseshoe, flat, and on the other side it's flat, horseshoe, etc. You guys get the point. So I've got my little shims in a bag down there, I got my rockers laid out, so I'm going to put those on, put my rockers in, and then we'll probably call it a night because I've got work tomorrow and it's getting late, and if I don't call it a night I'll stay up all night getting this thing back together. So got my little shims here. We'll put these bad boys in. So, horseshoe, flat, horseshoe, 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 flat, flat, and flat. Now we're on the other side. This side we've got flat, flat, horseshoe, 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 flat, flat, just like that. So now that we've done that, we can put our rocker arms back in. So we've labelled them all. We got exhaust side 1, 2, 3, 4, and then obviously intake side 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll put these in quickly. So, oh, don't do that. Don't drop the shim. And then we've got our intake side. Turn around. Set them in there. Last one. Just like that, we are done. So here you can see exhaust 1, 2, 3, 4. Intake 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. That's us. We've got our shims all in, we've got our rockers all in. So now we're ready to start putting our cams in, cam caps, get it all timed up, and we've got our long block assembled again. So that's all for tonight. Hope you guys learnt some stuff, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.